Hello everyone, we'll unravel the story of energy currency in biology and economics, rethinking money through the ATP model. We have these 5 parts. Let's begin this energetic journey. Today, I would like to discuss an interesting analogy. ATP is like a miniature battery inside our cells. Whether we are running, thinking, or even breathing at the moment, every action in our body depends on the discharging and recharging of this amazing molecule. How does it work? Let's find out. Imagine ATP as a fully charged battery with its energy stored in the chemical bonds between the 3 phosphate groups, especially the last phosphate bond, which acts the battery's power switch. When the cell needs energy, ATP is hydrolyzed. The last phosphate bond is broken, turning it into ADP and releasing energy. But batteries need to be recharged when they run out of power, right? The same is true of ADP. For example, when a cell gets extra energy by breaking down glucose during exercise, ADP recombines with a free phosphate group, absorbs the energy, and turns back into ATP. This recharging reaction is called phosphorylation, which is like plugging the dead battery of ADP back into the socket and restoring it to fully charged ATP, waiting for its next use. Like an eco-friendly battery that's recharged repeatedly, the ATP-ADP cycle enables the efficient and precise distribution of energy.
Next, let's talk about how decentralized are ATP-ADP molecules. Before that, let's first understand the concept of decentralization. Simply put, decentralization is like an open market. Each small shop makes its own choices, buys and sells independently, without waiting for a boss to tell them what to do. We can compare the ATP-ADP molecular cycle to an energy currency network without a central bank. In this network, each cell and even each organelle within the cell acts like an independent small business, capable of both printing its own money and spending it directly. This entire process does not rely on a unified command center or a fixed energy dispatch hub. Instead, each cell makes real-time decisions based on local supply and demand. Much like a highly developed market economy, every unit determines its own spending and earning according to its need, which embodies the essence of decentralization, distributed central autonomy, and real-time responsiveness. Therefore, the ATP-ADP system can be viewed as a self-organizing energy currency mechanism where local coordination achieves global regulation, showing a high degree of decentralization.
Okay, in the third part, we will talk about the question, can gold standard commodity money work like ATP energy currency? First, let's define our key concepts. The gold standard is a monetary system where currency is backed by gold. It provides stability, but is rigid and centrally controlled. On the other hand, ATP functions as the energy currency of life, supporting nearly every cellular process. So why compare them? Both store value and enable transactions, but do they function the same way? Let's break it down. In monetary economics, a successful currency must fulfill 3 key functions: unit of account, medium of exchange, store of value. Both ATP and the gold standard serve as stores of value and enable exchanges, but the way they operate is fundamentally different. Now let's compare them directly. Gold is controlled by central banks, while ATP is produced and managed within every single cell, a truly decentralized system. Gold supply is fixed and slow to adapt, whereas ATP is instantly synthesized and used based on cellular demand. These fundamental differences make ATP a far more flexible and adaptive currency than gold ever was. In conclusion, we can't say gold standard commodity money work like ATP energy currency?
Next, let's talk about how humanity can transform current modern currencies into an ATP-like energy currency for every human activity. The modern monetary system, centered on central bank-issued fiat currency, stabilizes economies but carries hidden risks. Excessive money printing erodes its value preservation function, triggering inflation, asset bubbles, and systemic crisis. Today, most national currencies act primarily as medium of exchange, failing to reliably serve as units of account or stores of value. Bank credit during crisis undermines central bank dominance, demanding public-driven monetary restructuring. The UK's digital currency is a passive reaction mechanism that can reduce the centralization of the central bank, which may become a trend in the future. Although ATP is a molecule and money is a social tool, they are both essentially addressing the problem of how value is transmitted efficiently. ATP in our cells works on demand, no hoarding, just instant energy. But today's money, often trapped by hoarding and wealth concentration. Maybe we could introduce tools like zero maturity wallets or negative interest accounts. They keep money moving, just like ATP keeps you alive. ATP isn't stored long, it's made and used in real time. Its value comes from real energy in its chemical bonds. Maybe we could try an energy-backed currency? Imagine 1 unit of money equals 1 kilowatt hour of renewable energy. And instead of a traditional central bank, we could use an algorithmic one, mimicking ATP's flexible cycle to manage flow and decentralized control. ATP acts as a universal energy metric in all life. Inspired by that, we can use LOT sensors to track real-time energy use, linking money to real-world activities. Think working hours, carbon footprint, all converted into energy credits priced by AI. Different types of energy currency can trade on a unified market, creating a circular eco-level economy. However, ATP evolved over billions of years, money just a few thousand. Tech can mimic biology, but economies are more complex. Maybe the future lies in a hybrid model, balancing central control with personal freedom.
In conclusion, I will talk about two parts. In conclusion, the first part is the similarity of ATP and currency. The first similarity is energy conversion and exchange. Cells use ATP as an energy source to drive cellular activities. When ATP is broken down into ADP, energy is released for use by the cell. Money acts as a medium of exchange and plays a role in economic activities at fluctuate exchange, store values, and pay debt. The second similarity is units and functions. ATP is finite and effective unity of energy that provides energy precisely when it is needed, supporting the maintenance and development of vital activities. Money is standardized unit that fluctuates the measurement and exchange of various goods and services. The second part is lesson from biological system-oriented economic system. The first one is sustainable use of resources. In ecosystem, the recycling and the diversity of resources ensure the long-term sustainability of the ecological balance. Similarly, the economic system needs to focus on sustainable use resources, emphasize and development of green economic and circular economic. The second one is adaptive mechanism. Adaptive reactive mechanisms in living organisms, such as the response of immune system and the feedback regulation of the nervous system, and able to respond to the change into external environment. Economic also need to adaptive the relaxation of monetary policy, flex policy, and the market mechanism is similarity to an emergency mechanism in living organism. The role of ATP is living organisms is highly similarity to that of money in the economic system, which it can provide useful resources for the economic system and help build into more effective, stable, and sustainable economic system. And this is our reference. Thank you for watching.